I'm going to be a little vulnerable with y'all today. I usually hold an art challenge for my Discord members with a different theme each month, and last month's theme was redrawing old OCs. Here's a submission of my character. Looks decent, right? Well, this is what it used to look like back in 2018-ish. Yeah, see, it's a decent design on its own, and there's nothing wrong with an individual creating a character of a different race than themselves. The art style isn't even bad. It's largely the fact that over the years, this character became progressively black, and this change had a direct correlation with an increased acceptance of my own blackness. I'd always known I didn't want a conventionally white or Japanese character, at least I think so, but for a long time I was never able to bring myself to depict this character in his full blackness. Why is that? What is the force that prevented me from doing so? I've grown up a lot since then, and I think we've all at least heard of what this may be. Here's a YouTube video on why black people are awesome and why anti-blackness is stupid. Anti-blackness is present in how our hair, features, fashion, language, and attitudes are policed. It's in the stories of queer folk disowned by their families for daring to love the wrong way. It's in the stories of young boys told not to wear hoods out in public out of fear of being shot by random civilians and the police. Of course, the police. It's in the stories of young black girls told to be docile so as to grow up desirable to men. Same men who end up abusing and in many cases killing them. It's in the way we celebrate being better believers in religions brought to us as a way to destroy our own. In the way children are given names that wouldn't be flagged by recruiters or now ATS systems as not being worthy of being hired. It's in our ability to make TikToks, watch movies, and play games without worrying about where the materials used to make these devices are sourced. Look. If I were to start listing everything, this video will go on forever, but I hope you see the point. I myself at this stage am an Afro-pessimist, which essentially boils down to the belief that for the world to keep spinning, you can't have black people grinning. Whether that's in the constant degradation of black people off and online on a day-to-day basis, to the real tangible harm done to these people through violence in our communities. Essentially, all non-black people rely on the subjugation of black bodies. And when I say all, I don't mean literally everybody, I mean on a demographic level. Anyway, all non-black people rely on the subjugation of black bodies to affirm their humanity. And no amount of reform or struggle can dissolve such an integral structure to modern society. And I know that sounds like a lot, and many of you will see this as me being obsessed with race or having a victim mentality. But let me ask you this. What is with the amount of rage I awaken on Twitter and Instagram by daring to say that black children were worth so much after the slew of deaths black people as young as almost 1 have faced in this country within the past 6 months alone? You would think I cussed out all of Europe. There are many people who may have even clipped this video as a way to hate watch off of the title alone, a title that makes no statements against any other groups of people. Well, I think for a change, let's start trying to slow down this globe, Let's talk about a couple of the things that black people do that makes us awesome. For one, it's the ubiquity of blackness. We are literally everywhere. And I don't mean in the sense of how, if you don't find an agenda somewhere, then it's not safe, just leave. I mean our influence is global. Just look at the World Cup teams, for example. Almost every nation had at least one black player in their teams. Shit, France might just be an African team at this point. If you look at food, the sudden trend of people guzzling hibiscus drinks as a gut health tool is interesting to see. In Nigeria, we know this as zobo, but it's also known as sobolo, bisap sorrel in other parts of West Africa, and hibiscus tea in the Caribbean. Actually, here's a batch I made recently, and I love this stuff over here, man. I make this almost every month. Beauty standards? Come on. I mean, what is that quote that Omni-Man said again? Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power. Let's go! You know what I'm saying? Lip fillers, tans, plastic surgeries, braids, and whatever the bleep this is.
Jack has got what I like to call carvable curl. It's that brilliant type of curl that's a perfect mix of thick, coarse, and it stands at full projection. It requires you to put aside your preconceptions about frizz and see it differently.
Listen, especially to the youngest out there, all the features they may insult you for now will be the same ones people will be paying literal thousands to receive later in life. Other contributions? Well, within the US, the Black Panthers started the free school lunch program that you might be familiar with and other local programs. Katherine Johnson's calculations helped NASA land the first men on the moon. As mentioned earlier, your smartphones are powered by cobalt from DRC, which is currently in a crisis over the control of said minerals. Ethiopia is actually the birthplace of coffee, and that's for, you coffee Starbucks people. Oh, here's a short list of things black people invented or contributed to the modernization of. Simple stuff like paper, chess, the alphabet, plane propellers, disposable syringes, home security systems, peanut butter, elevators, traffic lights, the automatic gear shift, clothes dryers, portable air conditioning, color PC monitors, helicopters, yes, helicopters, heating furnaces, doorknobs, doorstops, coin changers, the freaking horse saddle, and the list goes on and on and on.
Chicken
and
wings,
on
fried catfish, yams, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread. These are braised oxtail, and these are neck bone. And so
next time, if someone asks you what we've contributed to, direct them to this timestamp right now. Some of these might seem trivial, but they are staples in our day-to-day lives, and we would not imagine life without any of them. Oh, here's a funny historical one. There's this dude called Ziriab, aka the Blackbird of Cordoba, who was a 9th century musician, astronomer, and was known as one of the first influencers, as he freaking introduced the Western Europeans to fine dining, dressing for the seasons, and even hygiene. Okay. Almost every song you listen to, period, has some origin in Africa, inspiring genres from all over the world, all the way from Son Jarocho in Veracruz, Mexico, to your favorite K-pop singers. Don't fight that one. I want to make sure to state that I recognize that a lot of this comes from a dark history of colonialism and how our people were forced to make a life for themselves and develop their cultures all across the globe in the face of the terror, in the face of the end of the world, basically. But it can also be seen as a testament to the sheer wealth present in our shared cultures, which leads me to my next point. Go and fight with your grandfather's dog. We are the most united diaspora in the history of the world. No one does it like we do. Do not pay attention to useless diaspora war arguments made online or in person by weaklings, especially because of the fact that a lot of these are largely magnified by the general media landscape. They love to see black people fighting. It's not just the larger Pan-African sentiments that we tend to share, it's also in the little things, like the black knob, if you know, you know. How people will see a mattress store and think immediately that money laundering is going on in there. How our moms for some reason wear heat proof when cooking, or would tap spoon on their hand to taste the food. How our elders never just told the point of the lesson, but would always love to say it in a story or an adage. How we will always compete to be the loudest at graduation. What makes us unique is the degree to which we have been bonded by the shared tragedies of our past and a shared strength of will to see a dream of a better future for ourselves. We always tend to look after one another across national or tribal lines, especially when in spaces where we might be quite few. As the visionary Issa Rae once said,
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am.
This is my first ever year going to an anime convention, and I'm so jealous of y'all that are able to go to DreamCon. The taste of community I felt at MomoCon alone, I can only imagine what DreamCon would have been like. I'm very, very, very happy for y'all. A few years back, when I was going through a prolonged depression, the trip I took back to my home country, Nigeria, literally changed my life for the better. The random Hausa man on the plane who heard I was Igbo and decided to tell me about the time he had in Igbo land, walking down the street to get some street corn and suya, getting to drive around town and speak with the people back home. It was honestly refreshing to simply be amongst my people. A similar feeling is what I had at MomoCon. It's a beautiful sight, and I will always devote myself to furthering this reality. I really hope that you do too. I look at my old art nowadays and wonder what my old self would have thought of it. Sometimes I see it and wonder if he would have been scared. Scared of what people would think, scared that I would get it wrong, scared that I wouldn't be given a chance to succeed in the art space. I'm still finding that out, and no matter what happens, I'm proud that I was still and am still getting better at embracing myself in my entirety. I guess it would be contrary to the title of the video to say that I don't have the all cure for anti-blackness. This is a 500-year-old disease that has affected the world, but even worse than all, it's affected us as well. Every day we see this in the way some of us choose to portray ourselves. We see this in the modern minstrelsy showcased in Divine Days, the myriad of Pop the Balloon videos, streamers have said, the quote-unquote black Republicans, FBAs, tribalists, and recently March on March folk in South Africa. It's not about how others see us, I'm worried about how we choose to see ourselves. A good first step, I think, would be the emphasis on self-love. Franz Fanon once said, "Each generation must discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it in relative opacity." And I believe the role of our generation is cultivating this self-love, not just in a personal sense, but as a group. Our lives, languages, banners, souls, hopes, and dreams should be taken as sacred, not to be played with at all. I believe that is necessary of a first step. People who love themselves are suddenly a lot less likely to let others trample on them. You just being here, you being alive in this world, in the past, present, and future, you just being able to enjoy the light of the sun on your face, you just being able to eat, laugh, dance, and sing to your heart's content, you being able to give and feel love to and from others, you just having your own hopes and dreams. You are deserving of all the fruits of life, joy and self-fulfillment. No government, no dogma, no arbitrary wealth, no race, no tribe, no religion, no man, and no God can take that away from you. I'm just going to end this with a short quote from the late Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Patrice Lumumba. "History will have its say one day. Not the history they teach in Brussels, Paris, Washington, or the United Nations. Africa will write her own history, and it will be a history of glory and dignity. May the sun never set on the children of Africa." Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I just want to give a special shout out to my patrons: Misfit Rogue, CMG Villager, Reckless Persona, Chianor, Spicy Arts, XOXO, Renaga Sheet A. I also wanted to add that if you'd like what you saw and wish to support, you can join my Patreon at patreon.com/AFDSBN. Your support really helps me keep making more content like this. Also, in general, I was thinking about the nature of the last video that I made that blew up. And if y'all want more design stuff and more design related videos, please feel free to, comment them down below. I just guess I don't want this to be an account where I'm challenging people's art all the time, or just redrawing people's stuff or fixing people's art stuff. No, okay, I don't want this account to be that. So yeah. Also, I don't want to, discuss characters I'm not really intimate with. I don't think I'm exposed to everything of that nature. With Zelda, I had this game, and I didn't play all the games, but I've had this game and I played it long enough to where I felt more confident doing that. But yeah. If you feel like there's anyone you feel like I can do, or you really think I should do regardless, go ahead and comment that down below. Let me know what other type of content you'd like to see as well. I want this channel to be a channel where I kind of discuss societal issues through kind of an artist lens, if that makes sense. But yeah. Also, I wanted to add that I actually have a one-shot coming out soon on Webtoon. It's going to be called Bird Mask Queen of Diamonds, and I'll be definitely be updating y'all on all the happenings here, but especially on Instagram. So if you haven't gotten a chance to, follow me on there as well. All right, I'm going to leave y'all alone now. As always, enjoy.